Just bring it. That one has to go right up to your face, okay? All right, here we go. We turn to page 161. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim ufros alenu sukat shlomecha. You, blessed are you, Adonai our God, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. We turn to page 162 for Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat la'asot et hashavat ledorot amerin olam. Beni u'bein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We turn to page 166 as we rise for the Amidah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imateinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Ha'gadol, Ha'gibor Ha'norah, El Elyon, Omer Chasadim Tovim, Kepane Ha'ol, V'zofer Chasdei Avot V'imachol, U'mevi Geulah Livnei Bneihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Maleh, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham Bezrat Sarah, atah Gibor L'Almanah, Mechaye HaKol atah Rab Le'Hoshia, Mechakel Chaim Le'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rachim, Tzomech Novim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asirim, Umekayim Elunato, Lishei Ne'afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gimrot, Umidom Elon, Melech David Umechayeh, Umatzniach Yeshua, Ve'emanat Hayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yihallelu Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. On page 173, we pray responsively. Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, Adonai, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. The border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and that the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Page 175. Jessica. Rinson. Mercy.
want to make sure I can hear you. Can you say hello?
Hello.
Everybody here?
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, we have such wonderful additions to our service this evening. We now turn on page 176 to our Modim, our thank you prayer. And I want, if you're on Zoom, to put in the chat something you're thankful for today. And if you're here, to think of something, and in a minute, I'll ask you to share with the people sitting around you, but not yet, because first I have to tell you a story. And my story is that I went to visit my friend Sarene today, and she had surgery back in December, and I think it fixed what it was supposed to fix, but caused other problems. So her life changed pretty rapidly, and I visited her in the rehab today. So that's 5 months later. And she just said, please remind everybody to be so grateful for every single moment and to appreciate it, because you just don't know what the next moment will bring. So as we enter into our prayers of gratitude and thanks, I think we can all learn and be reminded from Sarene and her optimism, but her appreciation. So take a moment and put in the chat if something you're grateful for at this moment. And if you're sitting here today, just turn to the person next to you and share something that you're grateful for. They're calling with their gratitude, or they're going to tell you they're lost. But you really can chat amongst yourselves for a moment. And if you're home sitting with someone, turn to them and share something you're grateful for. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha lecha na'eh lehodot. Before we turn to Shalom Rav, I have to find the right page. I didn't pull it out ahead of time today. I'd like to take a moment as we continue our prayers for Israel as they form a new coalition government, one that we hope will have lasting positive effects and that will hold and unify Israel. Avinu Shebashamayim Sur Yisrael v'Goalo, Berech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Simichat Geulatenu. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And let us say, Amen. We continue with our prayers for peace on page 178. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Rav. We take these next few moments for silent prayer. I think we're good now. We can move around a little bit. Everything's been so beautiful, but that Shalom Rav was particularly beautiful and one we don't do very often, if ever. So it was just, I loved it. So today is the 30th anniversary of my ordination as a rabbi. So I have been a rabbi for 30 years. I think it's kind of amazing. And it's really been a very fast 30 years. But because of that, I was reflecting on when I started rabbinical school 5 years before that in 1986. And I was in Jerusalem, which is one of the highlights and joys of going to rabbinical school, is being able to study for a whole year in Israel. And you know, for me, it was a particularly special year. Not only did I make wonderful friends and learn lots of good things, but I met my husband. So that's very special for us as well. During my year in Israel, I remember one particular night that I gathered with a group of female students in my class. And we were studying, contemplating Talit, and whether or not we as Reformed Jews should wear a tallis, whether or not we as women should don a talit. And I had grown up classical Reform, so nobody, men, women, I think the rabbi and the Cantor might have worn a tallis along with the mitre, that big hat, when they were leading services. So it was pretty foreign to me, but here I was in rabbinical school and some people were wearing them and it seemed interesting. So I studied and I analyzed and I read text and intellectualized the whole thing. And finally, my friend Lisa said, why don't you just try it? So next time I was in services, I took a talit, a pink silk one, if I recall, and wrapped it around me and stood there. And just took in the moment. Did it feel any different? Did I like praying with it? Did it matter? And you know what? I did feel different. I loved the idea of wrapping myself in the wings of Shekhinah, in God's presence, of creating a space and a place wherever I was that grounded me in that moment, that connected me to tradition, but the strongest feeling I had was being enveloped, of feeling warm. And since that day, when I lead prayer or when it's appropriate when going to a service, if I ever get the opportunity to go to somebody else's service, I do wear a talit. One moment I find particularly powerful is before I do a funeral. I'll often take the talit and place it over my head and make a little cocoon and ask God to help me connect to the essence of the person I am eulogizing and I am conducting the service for, and ask God to help me channel their beautiful energy and to convey the sentiments of the family. So I have found great power in this. Even before I studied this week's Torah portion, Shalach Lecha, even before I knew the phrase Kanfei Bigdeihem, the corners of their garments. Kanaf, which here is translated as corners, often means wings. A bird has kanfei, kanfayim. And this refers to those wings of Shekhinah, the divine presence. So on an individual level, when we wear a talit, it is like being wrapped in something holy and creating a sacred space for prayer. That worked for me at that moment. But I still question, why is wearing talit something they mention in an ancient document of the Torah? Why is that relevant for any of us today? So I invite you, instead of just thinking of this as a holy action, a mitzvah, think of this as an action which affects the holiness in the world. This is something that my study of the Sfat Emet has led me to understand, that what we do can affect the holiness in the world. Each mitzvah can influence the heavens. We usually think of God doing things to us, making something happen, causing us to have good luck or bad luck, or good fortune or bad fortune. But the Talmud reminds us that what we can do things that influence God. In a verse about repentance, it says, God says, "O children of Israel, give me an opening the size of a needle." Think of how small that is. Make overtures to repent, and I will open the gates wide wide enough for coaches and wagons to go through. What we do can affect God. How amazing. On Rosh Hashanah, we learn this same message, that teshuvah, tefillah, and tzedakah, repentance, prayer, and charity, can temper judgment's severe decree, that we can affect God's decisions. And here in Shalach Lecha, we are reminded that mitzvot, such as wearing talit and taking challah, the piece of the bread, and sacrificing it, as we learn in this week's parsha, can do similarly. Maybe you're not a metaphysicist, and you don't really think that our actions influence God or vice versa. So even if your worldview doesn't resonate with this, I think there are other reasons we can wear the tzitzit. Reminder, they are tied on 4 corners with 8 strings each, and tied and wrapped in such a way that it reminds us of the 613 mitzvot. I never quite get how it all adds up, but I will believe that it does. A reminder that we should do the mitzvot, or that we shouldn't do the mitzvot, like murder, steal, things like that. And that's what the purpose of the tzitzit are. So by wearing a talit, you're reminded to act in a holy way. You're actually changed. You're reminded that when you go out in the world, there are obligations that are put upon you and upon me. And maybe if you wear a talit, you'll just be a little bit better. You'll do more mitzvot. You'll feel more connected. You'll be changed in some small way. And this will lead to a ripple effect that might change the world. So often in this parsha, we focus on the story of the scouts at the beginning of the section, who go out and scout La Tour and come back with a discouraging report on the land, which is characterized as zinut, faithlessness, but the root of the word is zonah, which means whoredom, with a W. And then what's interesting is in a totally unrelated section at the end of Shalach Lecha, this part about wearing tzitzit that has nothing to do with the story, these 2 words are repeated, where it says, the Eternal One spoke to Moses as follows, speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall the commandments, the mitzvot, to God and observe them, so that you do not follow, lo taturu, latur, your heart and eyes to whore after them, zonim achrehem. Thus you shall be reminded to observe all my commandments and be holy to your God. This should sound familiar. I am the eternal your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the eternal your God. And this is found in the V'ahavta, although we don't usually read the tzitzit paragraph. But for all of us, this can be a reminder not to get discouraged, not to feel faithless. So whether it is tzitzit or there's another commandment that resonates with you, there's a mitzvah you're more drawn to. Maybe it's one of the ethical ones, not the ritual ones. I encourage you to see these mitzvot as a dialogue between you and God, between God and you. And as each of us endeavor to discern, to do God's will, to feel and believe, we need to feel and believe that God is responding, and maybe even changing because of the mitzvot we are doing on earth. Instead of thinking this as just a holy action, think of this as an action that affects the holiness of the world. Make yourself a part of the story of the Jewish people, whether you feel lost in the desert or you already have a deep connection. And if it takes tying a Jewish string around your finger, or tzitzit, to remind yourself that you can be wrapped in the wings of Shekhinah and feel God's presence, try that too. Ken Yehi Ratzon, be it God's will. I invite you to turn to page 586 as we rise for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shaber Adon HaKol, Lateit Gdula Yotzer Bereshit, Shelo Asanu K'goyei Haratzot, V'lo Samanu K'mishpachot Adamot, Shelo Samchem K'nukahem, V'gor Aleinu K'chol Hamonom, V'anachnu Korim, ומשתחווים אני לפני מלך מלכי העולמים לקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
We remain standing as we turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. And we remember those for whom we are in the week of mourning, the month of mourning Shloshim. Robert Buzz Botwinick, father of Randy Mother Pearl. Ruth Mossberg, my aunt. Barry Isaacs, father of Jeremy Isaacs. And those whose yard sites fall at this season. Lillian Salzman Alexander, Stephen Bank, Tessie Becker, Grace Berg, Evelyn Bornstein, Manny Cohen, Florence Fox, Edie Goldberg, Sylvia Goldstein, Dorothy Hurt, Anna Hollenberg, Leon Holzer, Jacob Katz, Morris Levitan, Joan Nathanson, Felice Orange, Cynthia Parsoff, Irving Parsoff, Sharon Pearl, Dari Pinkowitz, Mayor Schoenberg, Sadie Schoenfeld, Leonard Siskin, Sydney Sinkoff, Carol Sirota, Arthur Spat, Rose Ronnie Stein, Francis Schmulowitz, Muriel Weingrow. And please hold in your hearts others who you might be saying Kaddish for today, or put them in the chat as we honor their memories with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei rabbah, v'yama divrach yirutei v'yamlich yirut malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'kol beit Yisrael, v'gala v'zman kari v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei rabbah mivarak le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromein v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudashah b'rirku. Leila Minko Birkata Vishirata Tushbachata Venechemata Damiram Biyama Vimru.
Amen.
Yehi Shlomo Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom V'imromav Huya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say, Amen. We have a treat today for us. We have three B'nai Mitzvah ladies, Banot Mitzvah ladies, here in the sanctuary with us. So we're going to invite them to come up with their dads for the Kiddush on page 122, 123. So Jessica, if you could bring up your dad, Mark, and Maddie, your dad, Brandon, and Olivia, your dad, David.
Come here, sweetie. No, I'm good. We can't let them stand too close together with their own feedback.
Okay.
So just don't crowd in with your classmates. But just don't, you want to hold that? Okay. Here. Are you gonna use that book, Olivia? And then
Mark, if you could hold this one. Okay, we need the mic. Are they all in the screen? You see everybody? Okay.
all right, that's heaven and the earth. 1, 2, 3.
The heaven and the earth finished in their ranks. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'rata b'anu, v'shabbat kodesh, v'achava u'rotzah. Zikaru Namaste Bereshit Kilu Yom Tehillah L'Nivra Kodesh Zecher L'Tzion Mitzrayim Ki Anu Echarcha Anu Kidashcha Mikol Ha'amim L'Shabbat Kodesh Ehava Uratzon Kinotanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Everybody take a drink.
Drink of this fantastic.
And if you guys stay up here, I can go, we have Olivia's too, not right
Don't get out of that pretty one.
here. All right, you guys stay here, and it's our pleasure to call Dr. Brian Goldstein to present you with some goodies. You're not, no, you want to go, sorry. We'll give you a mic. Cantor, give you a mic.
Here?
Dr. Brian Goldstein. I think
Oh,
it would be
I don't need that.
easiest if I hand you this one.
Great, thank you.
All right, dads can actually go back down. You can put the cups there. Just remember you put them because you can take yours home with you later.
All right. It is truly my privilege and honor to represent the board and the temple and give you guys some lovely gifts. So I have to apologize, Olivia, we don't have yours printed up and ready to go yet because you have so long still, days. I don't know if your Torah Parsha is the same as Swap, is it different?
No.
All right, so bear with me for a second. I have a special bond with you guys. I share this Parsha, Shalach Lecha buddies. All right, forever.
For
we
life.
share that. I share that with 2 of my kids, and we have that bond forever. So it's extra special. So I have a few beautiful gifts. One is a certificate of Bat Mitzvah, and you can proudly display that somewhere in your home. It's representative of the hard work to come to this day. Don't think of this as an end. It is sort of a jumping point. Finishing this portion, and then we want you back for JTV and all our team programming, and still part of the temple. But be very proud of this beautiful certificate. We also have a gift certificate for a 1-year membership to the Suffolk JCC. They have great programming and they're COVID safe, so you can take advantage of that and use what they've got. There's also a gift certificate towards a nifty trip to Israel. You can take advantage of that also, and it's a little discount towards a trip to Israel. And your Kiddush cup that you just used is a gift from the Brotherhood and Sisterhood. Hopefully you can find opportunities to use that, and maybe you'll get some talit, and you can take occasion to wrap yourselves in that and listen to the rabbi's beautiful words. Again, mazel tov to all of your families, and to you. You got a few days to wait, but you guys, tomorrow morning, we're gonna rock it. Shalach lecha. Give you these, Jessica, Madison, and we will get you yours. Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. We will see you in the morning, and I apologize for this little bit of things moving around for our friends on Zoom. Yeah, almost. I don't know how to do it. Okay, hang on one second. We're with you. You guys go. No, you guys go. I'm just organizing this ridiculousness here. Okay, we take a moment now as our thoughts turn to prayers of healing on this Shabbat. Oops, it's like super high. Oh, no, we got it now. There we go. And let me get my book. We are on page 371. So we offer prayers for Whitney Aronson, niece of Ellen Aronson, for Stephen Burstein, father of Alyssa Shaber, for Caitlin Stein, Marvin Schiff, the father of Stephen and Hatley Hoffman, Saul Adams, Bill Krasick, Sandra Shops, mother of Brandon Shops, Dana Mersan, and Renee Tchaikovsky, and grandmother of many people here. Daniel Stegman, Linda Walters, Jack Legros, Mickey Plass, Lenny Bernstein and Elliot Levitch, Doreen Penchik, Phyllis Belford, Daniel Siegel. And there are others who we are praying for refuah shlema for today, and you can write them in the chat. Brian Golden, I see, Orly Halpern, and how about here in the sanctuary? Judy.
Rita Conkel and Karen Adler.
Rita Conkel and Karen Adler, thank you.
Don Shanker.
Don Shanker.
Lisa Descal.
Lisa Descal. Jessica, Janice Plisco, it's very tiny. All those you're naming, all the people you're holding in your hearts, and let's send out prayers of healing wherever they're needed as we join with the Cantor.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen va'amen, and a refuah shlema. So we also get to celebrate Simchot, and I know we have some birthdays here this week. So Cheryl's was just a few days ago. Happy, but you didn't get blessed yet, did you? Okay, so happy birthday. And Jessica's is today.
What?
And is yours around here or no? June 10th. We'll bless you today. We love that. Happy birthday. Everybody's birthday just has to stand up.
Casey's birthday is this coming week.
24.
Right, you're on birthday. Your birthday was the 28th. Stacy, happy birthday, both Olivia. Who else? I have my little list here.
Oh, we have
Maddie.
a there stand.
And it's, which birthday is it? 21. Oh, that's a big one. All right, birthday.
That can't be true.
All right, I'm just checking my list. Any anniversaries? It's like a gazillion anniversaries, I should say. Dana, your anniversary? Then stand on up. And Lori, happy anniversary. Okay, yeah, we need both of you to stand up.
Brandon's birthday is June 18th.
Oh, definitely, you might not be back before then.
June 28th.
Okay, that's the same as my dad's. Oh, that's really
My
nice.
parents' anniversary is June 10th.
June 10th, so Elaine and Ed, you have to stand up. Wherever you
They've
are.
been married like 100 years.
I think that would make you very old.
Well,
dear.
over 60. I don't remember how many over 60, but over 60 years.
65.
Wow.
Mazal tov. Are we missing anybody on our list? Anybody here? It's so nice. We got a full house and lots of things to celebrate. So we're going to do a nice Shehechianu to celebrate all these wonderful moments.
Absolutely. Okay, I think it's acapella. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu, lazman hazeh. Amen. Mazel tov.
And Jordan Kaplan had a birthday this week, and Doreen and Artie Penchik celebrated 60. Wait, I gotta go back and look over here. 62 years. Although there's a lot of years. On June 2nd, they celebrated, I think she said 59 years today. So Mazal Tov to them as well. And Mazel Tov. Lots of blessings. On Maya Ve'esrin, till at least 120. It is our pleasure to invite Brian Goldstein back to the Bima. We have so many good things coming up. I mean, it's winding down for the summer, but not yet. So you're going to use the microphone. You're going to stay here. Make sure they can see you in the little.
Okay.
You got to back up a
Yeah,
little.
I'm gonna back up. I may unmask up here with all you vaccinators. I gotta cater to my Zoom audience.
You look good. A little shiny on the forehead,
Yes.
but you look good.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This is wonderful seeing, it's a packed house. There's like 300 here, everybody at home on Zoom. It's really great. And Mazel Tov to all the birthdays and anniversaries, and certainly a healthy, hearty Mazel Tov to Jessica and the Stones, and Madison and the Shops, and Olivia and the Peskins. I'm sorry about, we will get you your stuff. Don't worry, you're getting it. It's happening, but we just didn't have it tonight. Sorry about that. There is a lot happening at TBT, something for everybody. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Torah study, 12 p.m. Torah study with Rabbi Gellman and Valley Beth Shalom congregation. For that, go to vbs.org. June 6th, this is a good one. This is our first time doing this. A dog walk and play date with our own Cantor Appelbaum and the monkey.
Monkey!
You can get, and by the way, any of this,
I don't want to invite anybody.
any of this can be found on our website if you need details for anything. June 8th, Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., Jewish Tangents. Wednesday, June 9th at 6 p.m., Ritual Committee meeting It will have to be done in an hour because at 7 p.m. a witness project film. So for those of you who don't know this, I'll just give you a couple of seconds on that. This is a beautiful program for high school students, and they interact and establish relationships with Holocaust survivors throughout the better part of a year. And it culminates in a project for the high school students to do. Some of them do an art project and some of them do a film project. And this is the presentation of all of their projects. So it's a powerful program. Anybody that wants to get involved should. My daughter was this year. Her project was great. It was a fantastic experience for the entire family. Do you have something to say about that?
Well, that Mary was one of the students.
2 other congregants.
No, more than that.
More.
Lily
Nussbaum,
Maddie Schiappo, and Lauren Novak, and Joshua Sukkot. And Ryan did it last year, so we have an alumni here as well. So
powerful,
if anybody
right,
has
Ryan?
any questions, he can tell you how amazing
Great.
it was.
Yes. So if you want to get involved in it, please. Our temple has been well represented, and I don't think anybody that's been involved has not regretted their involvement. And this year by Zoom, it did not miss a beat. The survivors were great adapting to the technology. Unfortunately, a few of them were lost during this year. So it makes it even that much more important to do something like this because their time's limited. So that's Wednesday night, June 9th at 7 p.m. Thursday, June 10th at 7 p.m. Also, this is a great program that we have kicking off. It's The Village, Getting Good at Getting Older. So this is a new group with Dix Hills Jewish Center geared to adults 60 years old and up, and a new phase of their life. And this is the beginning of the community building that is representing. At 8 p.m., a Jewish parenting group, Raising Children in Today's World. Look at the panel. This is pretty impressive. I was not involved in it, but it looks like a lot of hard work went into formulating the panel of experts that are going to be giving this group discussion. Friday, June 11th, 10 a.m., pre-graduation. Is that a ceremony or just like?
It's preschool, nursery school graduation.
Pre-K graduation. Oh, that's adorable. Oh my. I hope that's by Zoom and people can watch that. Oh, that's great. At 4 p.m., the sharing table is having a ribbon cutting. So it was rained out. I think it was supposed to be today.
It was.
It was supposed to be today, and obviously the heavens opened up and didn't allow for us to do that. So the ribbon cutting is going to be on Friday, June 11th at 4 p.m. And in addition to the ribbon cutting, if anybody has any donations of breakfast cereal, toiletries, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, and large storage bins, that's what's needed right now. Friday, June 11th, after services, it should be around 8:15, adept speaker. This is Mark Gold on the history of Gold's horseradish. Interesting. A little spicy. Services from now on. I'm going to remind you that it's 7 p.m. that night services. From now until the end of summer, 7 p.m. services. And sometimes they will be outside, so we'll let everybody know when that's happening. Friday, June 25th, this is another incredible thing. The Emunah service by our own Beth Silverman. Cheryl Haber, you've done an Emunah. I did the last one. So Beth was supposed to do it last year, didn't happen. It's happening again. So she has 2 years of Emunah to bring us up to speed on, and it's going to be outstanding. Please join us for that. Monday, June 28th. This is an event for all events. It's something for everybody during this. It's our golf outing at the Comac Hamlet. You can play mahjong, you can play tennis, you can play pickleball, you could just eat. We got breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you don't want to do any of that, you can help out, you can donate, you can sponsor, you can just help out and be there collecting raffles and being a volunteer. And obviously there's the golfing. You
can donate raffles and you can buy raffle tickets.
There is something for everybody should be involved in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be fantastic.
And we're honoring
And we're honoring Kevin and Marnie Gershowitz. and it is going to be they're great honorees, and it's going to be a fantastic event. You want to be part of it. And that, I think, is it. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Cantor. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Rabbi, for a lovely service. Thank you all for being here and making it look sort of normal. Shabbat Shalom.
There's nothing normal about it. All right. We are closing with Olam Chesed Yivaneh, one of my favorites.
What's happening with your phone? Okay, go ahead. I know why it's echoing. In the picture.
Olam Chesed Yivaneh means I will build this world from compassion, from love. And I don't sing it because I've got that all figured out. I sing it because I'm hoping that it inspires me to get it all figured out, or at least every day to try with something loving and compassionate to contribute to this world. I will build this world from love. I will build this world from love. You must build this world from love. You must build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, if we build this world from love, God will build this world from love. God will build this world from love.
Please rise. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our mothers and fathers. You have blessed us by wrapping us in your wings. Please let us go out into this world and do your will. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Mazel tov, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom.
Beautiful sermon, Rabbi.
Good shot, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy anniversary, Ed and
Shabbat Shalom.
Joanne.
Thank
you.
It's good to see you. Oh, great to see everybody. Thanks for joining us and sticking with any technical difficulties. Appreciate it. We're trying here. We got a new camera system coming, so it'll be even smoother.
It was fine.
Oh. The Shopses are with us. We're so glad. Thank goodness for technology. Oh, you're muted. That's good.
Shabbat Shalom from both of us.
Good. Oh, and I forgot to wish Todd a mazel tov on his bar mitzvah, too. Oh, hey, Richard. Now I see you in double. Oh, my darling.
What you did today was amazing.
So good to see you. Let me put this down.
You like my hair?
Love your hair. Just get it done. Let me put this one. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
You too.
Let me say goodnight here and say, Lila Tov. We'll see you all soon.
Shabbat Shalom.